Let's jump into the daily challenge and look what we have. So, the clan, as usual, the clans are Melting Remnant Hellhorned for the third day in a row. So, that's nothing new, but I like the clan combination, it's quite interesting. Hi Elderfish Soup, welcome. The mutators today are money bags, so we get double gold. Small hands, we draw 2 less cards a turn, and musical chairs. Shuffle the position of all units in the train after combat. So this is rough with Melting Remnant Hellhorned. I mean, Hellhorned has some ways to get around musical chairs, but these clans are not that good at dealing with musical chairs, in my opinion. Um, One card I'm really looking at for that reason is March of Shields. That would allow us to reorder our floor. Small hands is also really rough, but Moneybags is a big boost to our power. Looking at the scores, it seems like it's a relatively low powered run today. So if we manage to just take no damage, take out trials and get mostly 3-turn boss rushes, we should be fine. We don't need to kill flying bosses. So I'm looking mostly to build consistency today. So let's go and see what we have. Hello Drippings, Vent and Mortal Entrapment. Oh boy, this is gonna be a spicy one. Vent is a decent starting card. Hello Drippings won't be very useful until we manage to pick up some drafts or something like that. And Mortal Entrapment is just not a great card. Oh, Guild Marker on top of Moneybags. That allows us to go nuts with upgrades. With double Hello Drippings, the Burnout Rector Flicker is actually very strong. So we'll go that path. That will allow us to get the easy score in the first 2 or maybe 3 battles. But then, on the other hand, we do have small hands, so there's certainly a chance we won't see any Hello Drippings until Rector burns out, which would be a bit sad. But luckily, that's not what happened. Too bad we can kill the collector here because we do not have any torches. And this is already a victory. No damage taken. Bottom floor kill. Very nice start. Molded, I'll gladly take that. Hornbreak, Molding Imp, Fortify. Hornbreak, Molding Imp, Fortify. Now with small hands, zero cost cards are a bit less appealing because oftentimes we will have more amber than we can actually spend unless we have something like a Vent in hand. Molding Imp will be another source of AoE. Hornbreak. Honestly, I like Hornbreak. It's flexible in that it can kill not only backliners but also armored frontliners sometimes. And it's good against things like Daedalus bombs and stuff like that. Seraph is the cleanse Seraph, by the way. Lady of the House makes a lot of sense. The other two are nice for gold generation. So that's certainly a possibility too, but we are gonna get a lot of gold anyways, and we do have the guild marker, so the use of gold is somewhat limited. I will take a Lady of the House here. We do have two Hello Drippings after all. I think I want to get the gold and get the spell upgrades here. Get the unit upgrades a bit later maybe. Here seems very possible depending on whether or not we can kill the collector on the next floor. No, next fight I mean. Double stack Hello Drippings? Is that necessary though? We do have a molded now. It seems a bit unnecessary. Let's cost reuse the molded. Even though cost reductions might not be as important, we will mostly go for draw from the boss relics, so we will get a decent amount of draw as time goes on. I also want to have some damage on that Went, even though it consumes now. Let's get holdover on that molded. And do I want the Search Stone for my second Went as well? Maybe. Let's cost reduce the Hornbreak, and finally I will take the Consume for the Went. These are just useful if we play them once. They deal 20 damage to everything, or even more if we have some energy left over. And we don't have to draw into them again. We are very unlikely to draw into them anyways a second time because of small hands. Oops, that should have gone behind the Rector. Hi Tupath GG. I'm glad my videos are helpful to you. We didn't get Hello Drippings in time, but that doesn't matter because we can just reform our Rector with the holdover molded and still get the bottom floor kill. Draft, very nice. I like seeing that one with Hello Drippings and holdover molded. Hidden Passage. Hidden Passage is helpful in getting a 3-turn boss rush. If we set up in the middle floor, we can just ascend the boss if we have the ascend in the right hand. Oh nice, so you have 15 clan combos cleared already on 25. That's pretty impressive. Keep up the good work. I wouldn't be opposed to using a Demon Fiend in this deck, but I really can't afford to take Ember, so it's kind of hard to justify. Demon Fiend is a very good card with musical chairs because it's good whether it's in front or in the back. The order doesn't really matter. It's tanky and it deals a lot of damage. But I think it's just too hard to justify taking it here. Because we can't really take Ember if we are only drawing 3 cards a turn. The other cards are either not scaling well enough with Wickless Baron or just too weak if they ever get sent to the front line by musical chairs. Steelworker, again, bad with musical chairs because if it gets sent to the backline, it doesn't provide much use. I hope it's actually as helpful as you make it sound. So, we definitely want to spend some gold here to get a bunch of upgrades, but I'm not too excited about Quick. Although Quick Quick is a way to reduce the impact of musical chairs, because if we kill the enemies before they attack, it doesn't matter who's in front. So quick on a draft, for example, could be quite valuable. The Wigstone can go on the Lady of the House, who I don't really want to reform that often. Same probably with the Heartstone. Although the Heartstone is much less important, I think I will reroll here. Look for offensive upgrades. Something like Rage on the Draft. The Draft is gonna die over and over again, so very often he will have a high amount of Rage, like 7, 6, 5, which is all a pretty decent damage upgrade for him. I don't think I want a second Wigstone on the Lady of the House. I'd rather keep that slot open for something else. And we do have a lot of units now, so let's remove one of the train stewards at least. Let's even remove a second one. Let's look at the Caverns. A rare draft picked from another clan. Now this could very easily define our run. So let's take a moment to look at the logbook. We have Awoken, Stygian and Umbra. So Awoken has, as always, Awoken's Rail Spike is very useful. In this deck, Channel Song will be pretty okay, because draft is not a priority draw, so we might get the draft with it, which would be very strong because it has multi-strike. Unleash the Wildwood would be okay, but not amazing. Shard Channel or Vine Mother, Adaptive Mutation probably not, Spreading Spores probably not. Wildwood Tome would still be good. The Furnace Tap run, yeah, Furnace Tap can lead to some insane things. Insane units. I don't think we are very likely to go with the Stygian rare draft pick, because most of the Stygian cards interact more with spells, something like the totems, Harness the Titan, Gifts for a Guard, and we don't really have that many spells in this deck. We're mostly minions right now. For Umbra, there's the Morsel Miner we can get, but Furnace Tap would be kind of good. Umbra Stone is pretty decent with our champion, as long as they stay alive, because it doesn't enhance the unit with trample, it only applies it. We can't really make use of Shadow Siege. Forever Consumed would be kind of okay, as would Blazing Bolts. There are quite a few Umbra cards. I think Umbra provides the most value to us, so let's go with that. And there's Furnace Tap. Furnace Tap on our champion can be very strong. We just need to keep in mind that we will be harshly Ember Drained after that. But we already have quite a few cards we can play on 0 Ember for some nice effects, so it's not all that bad. And let's immediately apply some Burnout so he stay alive for a while. Like here I could just go Furnace Tap on the champ. Start hitting that damage on Daedalus. And I'm not very sad that I can't play the Train Stewards right now. A little bit sad I can't play the Torch, but that's okay. Let's reform this drag. Put them down here on the front line, just so they won't be in front next turn. And there's Daedalus. That was quick. Remnant Pack, Devourer of Death, and Transcend Imp. Nothing really. We don't have summon effects, and while we could pick up some imps, we do have reform. I could go for a transcend imp, just in case pick. Speculative. It could be quite solid, to be honest. The Rage Imp would be great. The Imp Historian? Imp Scholar? Impish Scholar? Something like that. The one that brings back a consumed spell would be quite powerful as well. With Furnace Tap. We do have 2 Hello Drippings and 2 Vents he could find though. Let's skip. I'm going for consistency here, not for high rolls. Another Lady of the House. Let's look at our path. Next, we are gonna go to the right to get the removals and the Merchant of Magic. Here we are likely to go to the left to get the Relic, the Merchant of Magic and the Caverns. Yeah, almost certainly going left here. And here we might go to the left or to the right, it depends on the situation. So there is Merchant of Steel to upgrade. The other Lady of the House would be not for quite a while, so let's skip. And here we won't draw, because drawing 3 a turn is just not gonna cut it. Let's go to the right here, look at the unit. Paraffin Enforcer and Lady of the Reformed. Well, I wouldn't mind a Paraffin Enforcer. We do have all burnout units, after all. And our draft even starts with some rage, so adding rage, more rage to them is a little bit better. Just because the rage decay happens anyways for the draft. I like the Paraffin Enforcer here. We will need to find a way to put it on the correct floor at the correct time. Something like Dripfall would help with that. But... oh, I see a powerful play. That is quite kind of speculative. But I think it could be very good. I will also Search Stone Torch, so we consume that when played. And Holdover. Holdover Hidden Passage would be helpful, but if we hold over 2 cards a turn, that's a bit too much. I would still kind of like the Holdover Hidden Passage. That would allow us to set up on the 2nd floor. Ascend something like a Paraffin Enforcer to that floor. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. And then just ascend the boss to that floor as well. Do I want to pseudo remove another torch by giving it consume and spell power? Yeah, sure. It's just 15 gold. That's nothing. And then we remove the other 2 Train Steward. Oh, let's do 1 Train Steward, 1 Torch. The non-upgraded Torch. We get more stats with Burnout, obviously. Because that's a big part of our game plan. Non-boss enemy units get multi-strike. Okay. That should work out fine. We do have a lot of health on our units, and we do have reform strategies. That's a lot of units. I do want to kill this Absolver on the bottom floor. And the only way to do that is with Rector Flicker. The Rector Flicker has to go here. Let's play Paraffin Enforcer behind him, so he will get some rage. Next we play these 2 on this floor. Yes, the draft burns out, and I make him ready to be reformed. And in fact we can do so right away. We would need some more damage here. We can do that with either Vent or Draft. Let's play Vent on the top floor to kill the Collector. Draft can actually make the Paraffin Enforcer survive, so that's helpful. Let's use Hellhorned Dripping so our Raptor stays alive. We do have the draft to reform after all, so we don't really need to have another reform target right now. Let the draft tank the damage once more. And we can play these torches out. So we don't have to draw into them later. I can't save my Paraffin Enforcer. Nor my draft, but that's okay. I think we'll just Furnace Tap here. Nothing to reform this turn, but I do want to hold it over to the next turn. We can reform the draft once more. Then we ascend. Actually, let's play the drag and the draft out first. I don't want the draft to be in the front next turn. And we can just use the hidden passage on the boss and kill him on this floor. Which will result in a 3-turn boss rush because, after all, we killed him the first turn he appeared. Flicker Slicker, which this is amazing. Now suddenly we don't care about the Ember Drain at all because our units will mostly cost 0 because we reform them usually. Wicked Blaze. Wicked Blaze helps us scale our units a bit faster if we have enough targets to reform. Intent on Death, we don't really have a target for that. And Memories of the Melted seems unnecessary, the only thing we can really fuel with it is a vent. And we don't have that many units that die. I will take a Wicked Blaze. It also helps us find a reform earlier. Imp in a box is interesting. The imps are usually pretty good reform targets as well. Battering Ram doesn't work because we don't generate any armor. And Spike of the Hellhorned. Spike of the Hellhorned could actually be okay because we do have a slight rage sub-theme as well. But I think Imp in a box is generally gonna be stronger for us. Especially with the Flicker Slicker, these imps will make our spells cost 0. Our other cards, if we play them, I mean. I am strongly considering going to the right to copy the Furnace Tap. We can always pick up more spell upgrades on this next Merchant of Magic, but then again our spells are already pretty well upgraded. Okay, let's roll with it. Let's get a second Furnace Tap. Let's get these multi-strikes. Mark of Invasion. Sure, we will take that, but let's hope we draw a Vent in our opening hand, otherwise we will take quite a bit of damage. Also, this boss is difficult with burnout decks. No Vent in the opening hand, but this works. We can play these two out, and then we ascend this guy to the pyre, just so he doesn't get the attack buff from these two dying and deal 6 damage to our pyre instead of 2. So we only take 2 damage this turn, and if we draw into a draft or vent, yeah, we got a vent. That's amazing. Now we can ascend a Paraffin Enforcer. Well, if I send everything to the top floor, that has the drawback of us not getting a 3-turn boss rush. But to be honest, against this boss, we won't get a 3-turn boss rush, no matter what. Still have to vent, otherwise the collector won't die. But we do have enough hits now to kill every one of these enemies. I need to make sure the reactor doesn't burn out, otherwise the multi-strike is lost. And we can't really play any imps right now. So I will just not play the imp in a box. And I will just play the hidden passage on one of my own units. They can't move, but I do want to hold it over. Just in case. I was hoping to draw one of my drags. Or the... well, nothing to reform just yet. This is actually a great placement for the enemies. Only problem is I can't home break this guy. If I home break him, everyone else will get +2 attack. They will kill the Paraffin Enforcer. And for that reason this Sycophant would survive, so it doesn't change the math on that. What I can do, and probably should do, is home break one of the guys on these floors. Just thinking about how the math is gonna work out for us. Which one we wanna home break. I would love to have some spell damage on that home break to kill the Clip Defender right away. But we can't. This is pretty good. We also get another Hello Tripping, which helps a lot. And we can get some damage onto these guys. Start putting unit on the lower floors. We need to delay this Crystal Cloak. Nothing to reform this turn, but I will have something next turn. Ah! Misplaced it. Should have gone in the back. And then the train seals all the way to the back. The multi-strike doesn't even matter much here. We need tankiness. Actually we need... what do we need? Drag next hand is very helpful. Plus a reformed unit. We do have a drag next turn and the reform, so Ember shouldn't be a problem. If only I had some damage on him, then I could Mortal Entrap him. That's another 2. This guy to the top, so he doesn't get the attack buff from him. Our Paraffin Enforcer dies now, which is a bit of a problem. This is gonna be tough. Because we have burnout on our units. There's no way they will survive until the stealth is gone. Nothing I can really do here. This doesn't work out. I do have an idea how we can win this fight, but this boss is so tough with reform decks. It's actually insane. So we actually need to let Rector Flicker die. It's the only way we can beat this fight. We need to reform him and get more burnout onto him before we play any Hello Drippings. I will still set up a similar... I will still play this combat in mostly the same way, but I will not play any Hello Drippings onto our champion. Which also means I won't gonna play the... I'm not gonna play the Furnace tab on him as... That's also a problem, because it won't stay on if we let him burn out. And also the Ascent stuff doesn't matter here. Now we can bring him back with more burnout. Actually the Ascent stuff would have mattered. Gruff is quite a bit of damage. Can we get a kill if we kill these frontliners? 32... 47... Yeah, that's actually enough. And we have to have Rector on the bottom now. That is very important. We also need to have as much burnout on him and any unit that's on the same floor as is possible. We will take quite a bit of damage here. We can vent. And then this guy will have 6 attack. We can bring him down to below 30 though, so he will only hit our fire one. I want to train Steward next turn in front of the Paraffin Enforcer, not this turn. And now we have 5 burnout on Rector Flicker, so he will lose 5 stealth. And next turn we reform Rector Flicker to the top floor, where he will have 5 burnout again, which will be enough to get the kill. I should also have brought back a draft here, to be honest. That would have helped with dealing with this top floor. But we are in a decent position to play Furnace Tap on this guy. So... actually that doesn't matter. Also playing the Lady of the House on this floor doesn't matter. We might as well set her up on the next floor right now. I could have played this turn a bit better and saved some damage, but this time around we should at least be able to get the kill here. Anything but Rector Flicker doesn't really matter. But with, especially with the Hello Drippings, we will have the power we need to punch through this guy. Yep. Usually you don't want to set up on the bottom floor with against Crystal Cloak, but specifically with Melting Remnant, there are times where you just have to do that. Resin removal, fatal melting, memories of the melted. Memories of the melted. It's a bit better now that we have double Furnace Tap in the deck. But we also have Flicker, so... Fatal Melting is some nice AoE. We could use it on top of our vents. But I'm not convinced it's actually that good. Let's skip here. Impish Scholar, Inferno and Tiresome Climb. I kind of like Impish Scholar here, just because of the Furnace tabs. Yeah. Gives us a chance. Wait, the Furnace tabs don't consume. Well, the Hellhorned drippings and the vents are decent targets as well. The torches not so much. I want some more removals. It's time to get the final train steward out, but we don't have to do that right now. We can do it on this floor, and Hursel's Sword, Merchant of Trinkets is very good, so I don't need to take the removals here. I can get the spell unit upgrades. Large stone is not quite what I'm looking for, but it's not terrible, to be honest. Our plan is to ascend units onto a single floor, and this guy is a bit frail, so let's give him a large stone so he becomes a little bit tankier. What do I want on my Lady of the House and Paraffin Enforcer? Paraffin Enforcer definitely wants multi-strike. Lady of the House wants multi-strike too, but it's not that important for her. Let's give her the Rage. The Rage is actually bad against the boss. Let's give her the attack. And then we reroll. Quick. Well, quick on a Paraffin Enforcer is still useful, because he will strike first and give us the Rage before the other units hit. You don't need to start removing things here. We will get enough removals. Should have gone for the event first, I think. Steel Pulley Claw, I don't think we need that, nor do we need Trap Shoot. Trap Shoot has some potential uses against flying bosses, for example. Not that into it. Yeah, I don't want to upgrade any of my drafts. These are not gonna stay in the deck for much longer. Scorchfell. We should be fine against Scorchfell, because we do have Flicker's Liquor. But playing Furnace Tap is a bit risky against him. But I still think it's the way to go here, because it will allow us to get rid of this Absolver. So we won't have to deal with any Scorches this turn. We can't play any Imps. This time around I definitely want the Burnout to stay on. And this is the turn I was worried about. We don't have anything to reform yet, so we just have to get lucky and hit the right target. I would like to get this drag killed, but... Whoa! Lucky us. I don't really need the ascent here. Hi Night Breeze! Welcome to the stream. Let's get this vent back. We can model and trap the boss. And the vent should allow us to clear everything here. And another furnace tab. But now we have the mold overall. So we should be okay. As long as we have dead units, we should be okay. So let's make sure we have some dead units around. There will be guaranteed another Hellhorned dripping in there, so now next 10. Actually not guaranteed, because of the holdover. So we will lose the multi-strike on our champion, which sucks, but I guess nothing we can do about that. 12 damage, this drag won't die, but the draft will die anyways. Might as well use the drag to tank here then. But we wanna reform our champ anyways, so... And we can get right back to furnace taps on him. Let's remove this guy, because the only thing he does is tank damage for Bell. We are a very small amount of damage short, but we do have a draft here in the dead units pool, so we'll make room here for the draft, and that's gonna be lethal. Another perfect bottom floor kill for us. Wickless recruitment. Yes. We definitely don't want burnout on our champion. Everyone else is fine, but our champion needs to carry all these furnace taps. So if he dies, all the multi-strike is gone, which is not great. Check strips and firewall. I will take a check strips, it's nice. Helps dealing with some things like light wings. Spell scan and extra upgrade slot is not bad. Resin block, combustible wax, these are all quite good. Definitely want the combustible wax because of our champion. Just so we are never in trouble if we draw like Wickless recruitment too late. Now resin block becomes a bit worse, but it's still quite good with the draft, so we'll take it. Extra upgrade slots for spells. I am gonna go to the Merchant of Magic here. There are a few potentially broken cards, things we can do with that. These relics look much less impressive. Yeah, these relics are kind of bad. Let's remove the final train steward and also remove the first drag. The only thing I could consider here is the infused mallet. The infused mallet is kind of decent, but I'm not sure it's worth 160 coins. Definitely get the max stat. Yeah, these furnace taps are interesting, very powerful. Yeah, let's go on without the infused mallet. I don't think we need it. Armor 20 shouldn't be a problem for us. We have so much damage. These guys are a bit nasty with their multi-strike, but with 150 life I'm not too worried about that. I think I do want to set up on the second floor. Let's see what imps we get. Fire Jumper, Welder Helper. I guess that's fine. Still a lot of damage on the Lady of the House, but I don't think I wanna give these guys any time to slay. I also should have reversed the order of these because musical chair. This is very good here on the top. I do think we wanna vent this floor for 24 damage. Do I have Imp in a box in the consume pile? Hornbreak to kill this guy has to happen. And a vent for 24 has to happen. So we play Impish Scholar. Actually we play Drag first. No, we play Impish Scholar first. Impish Scholar doesn't need to go on the bottom floor. Let's put him on the top. Gives us Imp in a box. Imp in a box gives us 2 imps. We can play these thanks to Drag if we want to. Honestly, Furnace Tap on the front line would work just as well. And would allow us to get more rage. Yeah, I want the damage. The pure, powerful damage. Let's get this fledgling imp. Oh! Almost made the mistake of not venting here. Well, it didn't matter as much, to be honest. But it's still correct to play the vent. I don't want the fledgling imp in the reform pool over the other one. I try hard only. Glad to see you here. Let's get the hidden passage. Let's get the Lady of the Front up to the next floor. And remove not only Burnout but also Ember Drain from this guy. That's gonna be helpful. We can bring back the Rage Imp. Sure, but it doesn't do anything. Well, it does a little bit, I guess. Add some rage to this draft, which is not bad. This guy needs to die. Our Paraffin Enforcer kills one of these with the Quick, which is nice. This Rage Imp is becoming quite big, but there's not much to do for them. So might as well get the burnout off of you. This guy doesn't really do anything. If we just ascend him, he's just gonna be in the back and ascend to the pyre and deal no damage. And Molten Entrapment is bad as usual. This is looking quite good. And let's get the Pyre Jumper back. Actually, I should have kept the Pyre Jumper around, maybe. do want to reform first, so I can get the Flicker trigger, and then ascend it bot. And get another multi-strike, why not? Get 900 gold from that. Wax and Spike isn't bad. Wax and Spike is not bad in this deck. It's quite a large amount of damage we can get from Wax and Spike. Especially with the Halo drippings, the burnout is less of a problem, and the wickless recruitment also helps. None of these really appeal to me. I said in the beginning, March of Shield was something I would be looking for with the musical chairs, but that's not really what we do anymore. We don't have Demon, so Grook's Goat, while an amazing relic, doesn't work in this deck. Consumed Crown is good, but it's a bit too insignificant in my opinion to spend 150 gold on it. Let's reroll. And none of these work. Well, Traitor's Quill is okay. We do have a lot of consume spells. We have 4 with these. We have the Wax and Spike, makes 5, 6, 8 consume spells in this deck. It might help with clearing stuff that's in front of the boss. But then again, with things like Vent, stuff that's gonna be in front of the boss is already gonna be cleared if we play the spell. Let's go for it. I do want to purge this model in Remnant. It's just a terrible card. And I should have cost reduced the Furnace tab first. I forgot we had the Lightstone casing. I will still cost reduce one of the Furnace tabs. And nothing. No, this is not necessary anymore. There are no steel wings in the final fight. Yeah, so let's keep the remaining 159 gold for score. So, I will once again try to set up on the second floor. Paraffin Enforcer's Quick will allow us to kill the Light Wings. So we can start hitting the Seraph for a decent chunk of damage right away. Graph can be on the top for now. I don't want to feed it to the Steel Wings. Actually, it would have been fine, to be honest. It does have Quick, so it will at least take care of these Light Wings on the top floor. Let's remove the Ember Drain. Permafrost and Wickless Recruitment. I'm very likely to play it anyway, the turn I draw it, so didn't really do much for me. I do want to set up the Lady of the House here, even though we will take one Ember Drain, but a single Ember Drain shouldn't bother us that much. Let's look what's in the box. 2 Pyre Chompers. These are pretty good sacrifices here. Another Furnace tab. And then we ascend the boss. for a bunch of extra damage against them. No way to gain Ember here. Let's just ascend the boss again. Can't really use the Wax and Spike for good effect here. Draft will finally burn out. We have one... Oh, we have Pyre Chompers. Never mind, we can guaranteed play the Furnace Tap now. Pyre Chompers are actually very useful. So this is a nice chunk of damage if we just ascend the Rector Flicker. This will speed up our kill by quite a bit. This is half the Seraph's life gone. But next turn we will have to deal with this floor, so that's the downside. I am okay with that though. We should try to remove as many small fries as possible, so we have the best chance of hitting Seraph at the right time. This turn is not gonna be the right time. Let's bring back Graf. Play him on this floor. And we managed to get the Furnace Tap cost reduced again. And remove the Emerald Rain. So we do have our energy next turn. If we ascend this guy, our Rector will kill the whole floor. So that makes things a bit easier, because the next wave will only have one Gilded Wing alive. And then we can more easily push damage onto the bot. But we will be Ember Drained for 2 because of the Pyre Wing there. But 2 Ember Drain doesn't save the Seraph, and we get the kill here. So we managed to get a flying kill even in this challenge, and we did most combats with the 3-turn boss rush, no damage taken. We did take all the trial, and we kept a decent chunk of gold. That should put us in a very good spot here for score. 47,000. I think that's definitely on the first page. That's maybe even top 1. So, very fun deck, in my opinion. These Furnace Taps were huge game changers, as they usually are. We built around them quite a bit with cards like Wickless Recruitment to remove the burnout and the debuffs, the Ember Drain. Yeah, very fun deck, very powerful deck in a decently challenging daily. And we are number 1 indeed, with a 615 point lead.